Inside Disc Golf.
Welcome to Inside Disc Golf, episode 14. Today I'm very happy to have with me the two-time Austrian national champion and the host of the new upcoming European Pro Tour Skins that will be debuting next Tuesday on the 17th and will be coming every 2 weeks. So very happy to have with me Laurenz Schaurhofer. How are you doing, Laurenz?
Hey, Andrew. I'm good. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me and inviting me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Very happy to have you on. We have quite a lot to talk about. I guess maybe we can start with just a little bit of background. If you can tell us a little bit about where you're from and I guess how you discovered disc golf.
All right. When I discovered disc golf, I was about 11 years old. One person, I lived in a very small village, and one person in this village had some property. He didn't know how to use it for. So he decided to do some research in the internet and somehow found disc golf. And then just out of nowhere, he decided to place a disc golf course on his property. And thank God, I lived nearby and discovered disc golf at a very young age, which really helped me to get better. But I was playing football most of the time, but I never really gave up on disc golf. So when I turned 15, I just played the Austrian Championships in junior division. I played really good. I won that tournament. Then I was thinking, yeah, maybe I can really get good at this thing, and started practicing a lot. Then for the next 3 years, that's where I got my 2 Austrian champion titles. That was very, very nice, and I'm still very proud of myself for that. Because it's getting much, much more difficult nowadays when we have a lot of good players now in Austria.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of good players. And it's good to have those 2 titles in already. Nobody can take them from me now.
Yeah, that must be a really great feeling to be the best at something, especially something as cool as disc golf, in your country.
Yeah, it was a very nice time. Otherwise, I'm a very sporty man. I go to the gym a lot. I do some running, and right now I'm studying sports education to get a teacher, and also English. I just picked up English as well as my second subject. So yeah, excited for the future.
Sounds great. Yeah, and is that the same town you're living now that you grew up? Is it Tragwein? Is that how you say it, or Tragwein?
Tragwein.
Tragwein.
You say it in Austrian or in German. But okay. No, I moved into the closest city of Tragwein because I was working for the past 1.5 years, and it was just easier to move into the city. I also have a disc golf course there, but it's more it's a very open course. Some trees, but not really hard holes. But it's good for practice. You can throw, you can putt. You have all the important things you need to get better.
Nice. It's good to have somewhere to play nearby. But that's pretty lucky, I guess, that your neighbor got the course set up sort of randomly, I guess.
That was so lucky.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew what disc golf is in the area. And then somehow, after 1 or 2 years, everybody knew it. The villages close by, really hardly. I think really everybody knows it right now who lives close there. Because it was very good. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of companies go there in the summer, and they pay. It's a pay-to-play course, I have to say.
Yeah.
So he earns his money with that.
Nice. Yeah. So I guess you're really quite young. I didn't realize you were still so young. You're quite mature and very well spoken. And so I thought you were maybe a little bit earlier. But how old are you?
I'm 22.
22. Okay, yeah. So very young still. And
how old do you think that I am?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe more like mid-20s or something. Just because.
Okay, no.
just because your English was so good and you seemed so kind of confident with the language skills and everything. So I guess I just didn't really know, but when you said that,
I just
yeah,
turned
you were
22 actually.
okay.
Like 4 days ago, I just turned 22.
All right, happy birthday! Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get your degree sometime in the next couple of years, and
Yeah, it's about 4 years because I just started in, I think it was October. Yes, I started in October,
nice.
and it's 4 years, and then additional 2 years to have all my degrees I need to finally be able to teach at schools.
Okay. And are you going to apply some of that education to like a disc golf career, or is it just sports in general overall, like quite everything?
Right now, it's just sports in general. I didn't really think far ahead, I would say. It's definitely an option
Sure, you could.
to, well, like when disc golf grows in Austria, to also pick up the teaching part. But right now, like teaching Austria, it's possible. I've done a few workshops, but like to really be able to live from that, it's not
Sure.
possible right now. Like disc golf has to grow, has to go a long way still. It's a long way to get there.
Yeah.
But it's possible. Like we have some very determined people in Austria who are really getting the sports where it should be, I think.
That's great. Great to hear that it's building strong foundation there. I haven't actually been to Austria, but everybody that I've met from there is really kind and friendly, and it seems like a really good vibe from all the players that I've met from there.
Yeah, especially in a disc golf scene, like you don't meet anyone really unfriendly.
Yeah.
It's super nice.
Nice to have that kind of.
That's what I like disc golf. The community is very, very nice.
Yeah, it is like a family feeling. It's so nice to travel other places and see old friends and make new friends at all these events. And
That's amazing. It really is.
Always nice to reconnect and find new friends. Tell me a little bit about your touring experience.
The best part is like meeting all those new people, making so many new friends, and really get out of your comfort zone. Because like this year, so I mean like 2022 was the first year I really was traveling solo most of the time. I mean traveling solo, I just got to the places and then I knew the people and made friends with like people from so many different nations and just traveled around with them, having fun with them, and like cheering each other up, really motivating, and just do the sport together. It's really, really nice.
Cool. Yeah, we saw you quite a bit on the European Pro Tour this season. And how about next year's plans? Do you have any thing?
The plans for next year are not quite set right now. I'm definitely playing on Copenhagen and a few other tournaments, but I will not go on such a tour as I did last year because I want to travel like non-related disc golf also. In September, I'm gonna be 1 month in Edinburgh.
Oh, cool. In Scotland.
In Scotland. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I play Konopiste Open, Copenhagen, and said Åland. And I also want to play like 2 more Euro Pro Tours so that I have at least half of them. I think it's 6, or is it 8 this year?
I think it's 7 regular. Regular, and then the Spain, I think, as well, right? Because I think it's all the same ones from last year, which was 5, and then we have Belgium and Nokia, so I guess it's 7.
Yeah, right.
7 regular events, and then Spain, and then in Spain, I guess again, and this time a little bit earlier in like late October, I think.
Yeah. I plan to play like 3 Euro Pro Tours at least. It depends on my financial situation because like it's not so cheap to travel.
Yeah, it's quite a hard time, I guess, economically.
I have to pay the entry fees as well for myself. So that's quite a lot of money actually. And the entry fees like are rising also. It seems like from year to year. I think it's the same for the Euro Pro Tour, 150. I think it was the same. But for the Euro Tour, it's 150 now, and it used to be 100, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite an investment, I guess, when you don't have a big sponsorship to help cover all those travel costs and all the entry fees. It really does add up, especially when you're studying as well. It's hard to, I guess, work enough to have the funding for all that. But really cool that you're going to be able to make it around and do a few of the events anyway.
Oh, I mean, I've saved some money the last 2 or 3 years, so I can still spend some money on traveling. That's what I planned.
Sounds good.
I'm still working while I'm studying, so I should be able to travel around a lot still.
Yeah, but it's good to pick out a few really important events that you want to get to and focus on those, and so you don't get too spread out and strung out on the road, I guess. And still young, and it's still very early in your career, so still kind of building towards maybe an even brighter future.
Yeah, if I get my putting under control, I can do anything.
For sure. So that seems to be like the part of your game that lacks the most confidence. That it just.
Yeah, it's really annoying actually. Like I don't have. It's just annoying. But throwing's really good. That's positive.
Very consistent throwing. What does it feel like when you're putting in a tournament? What can you tell the audience about what you're going through mentally?
It's like. I can't imagine going to putt in. It's like like in my head, it's like there is a voice talking like, no way you're gonna make this. And when I'm confident, it's crazy. Like I do the putting, and in the very last second, I get like I would say it's like the yips, just to the right. And sometimes it's like I miss the basket by 1 or 2 meters to the right. And it's like even in practice, it's so tough. But in practice, when I get into a flow and a rhythm, like I kind of make all of them. But in tournament situations, it's just a big mental thing, and I'm really having trouble coping with that, or I don't know really how to solve this problem. I mean, maybe I could like hire a mental coach, but I don't have the money for that.
Sure.
Like to really get a good one and all that stuff.
I think it's a lot more common than most people realize this, especially when you get to that high level when there is kind of a lot of pressure in those moments. That mind body connection can kind of fail you, and it becomes like then sort of like a haunting kind of cycle, I guess.
It's it got worse. Like from year to year, it's always a little bit more. It's like gets more difficult. Like it's really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, you learn a lot through it because you have so many really, really fucked up rounds that you're like, yeah, that's how it is. Just have fun.
Yeah.
And I think that helped me a lot, like,
just to let go
all my life.
Yeah.
Just not to focus on the outcome. I mean, sometimes I fail at that. I think that's normal, but
sure.
It gets better because I used to be very, very angry with myself.
Sure.
But now I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Hopefully you can find some comfort in that and just stay in the moment and enjoy the experience, and then maybe it'll click and you'll reach your ultimate potential, hopefully.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just to get the pressure away from myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and just focus
on it. Trying to do next.
Yeah, let go of everything and just focus in on that moment. Try to zone in on the target and just let the mechanics happen naturally, hopefully.
I guess just do it.
That's the idea, yeah. Yeah, so I talked a little bit about Spain, how we're going to be finishing the tour at the All-Star event again this year. And last year was pretty exciting, I guess, for you. You were there playing in the event, but you were also joined the Disc Golf Stream media team as the host for the European Pro Tour Skins, which is some really, really cool new content that's going to be coming out next week, and then it's going to release every 2 weeks throughout January and February. What can you tell us about that experience?
I mean, it was very nice. I think especially the courses in Spain, they set up very, very good for those skins matches. And especially to go to Spain in November and have warm weather. That was super nice. And for the skins, yeah, I like the format a lot. It's just so different to the usual tournament play because like you kind of are forced to stay in the moment, because if you mess up the hole, it doesn't matter at all, because like every hole it's a set to 0 again, and maybe you're a lucky man and you get some skins and get some money. That's what I really like about this format. I think we should have more like that to kind of do some tournament skins. I mean, it was happening in the US this year.
That's right. With the GK Pro, the big money skins. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like this could get much more like match play tournaments. I think.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of potential for that style of format. And I think it's very entertaining for the audience because it really encourages that aggressive style play where you're really trying to make some magic happen and there's really nothing to lose, in the sense that, you're not playing for score, so you can take a big risk and you just move on to the next hole. Nothing accumulates score wise. So I think it's.
Yeah, there have been some very nice shots, some highlights, some throw-ins. That was very.
Okay, well,
it was nice.
Looking forward to all that really, really exciting action from Spain.
I think it's going to be a very, very good coverage. I hope so.
It's definitely got a lot of buzz about it. So we're really looking forward to seeing the final product. How does it compare to the only really skins that I've watched, I think, that I can remember is the GK Pro skins hosted by Luke Humphreys. How does it compare to that type of a format or program? Is it like same rules and everything basically, or like?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was like for the European Pro Tour skins now, it was 100. It was 50 euros per hole. So that was 900 euros overall, and then me as the host, I could give away 100 euros for some extra challenges.
Oh, cool.
For example, furthest drive, closest to the pin, longest putt, or whoever makes birdie gets some money. Yeah, and if there was a tie on hole 18, so for example, if there were 3 skins on the line for hole 18, and if 2 people play the same score on 18, then so let's say they both birdie hole 18, then whoever made the longest putt gets the money, gets the skins.
Okay.
I don't know if that was understanding enough.
Yeah.
What I talked right now. Okay, all right.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a special rule. I don't know if they do it like this in the States at the GK Tour skins. I don't think so.
I think they've done a few different things. I think they have sometimes played an extra hole, sometimes CTP. They've even played like a knockout game where they have like a putting competition where they have where it's like a game of, I don't know if you played that kind of game in basketball where it's like the person in front of you, if they miss it and you make it, then they're out, and you kind of like keep shuffling through. I know they've done that a little bit in the past. So I guess they have different ways of settling the final hole, but how did you fall into that job, or how did you get the job as the host?
You sent me an email and asked me if I'm interested to do it. I didn't really plan. I was registered for the event before. A week before that, there was a tournament also.
Right. Yeah, the
EPTX.
EPTX. Yeah.
I was registered for that one. And then sent me an email where he asked me if I'm interested in doing the skins, host the skins. And I was like, at first I was like, I don't know if I really want to do it, but then I was like, yeah, let's go out of my comfort zone again. So yes, I'm gonna do it. And yeah, it's been very nice. It came very unexpected for me. Just ask me and I was, yeah, let's do it.
Great.
And Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it seems like you're the perfect guy for the job. And I guess I met you for the first time, I think, in Turku at the press conference where we did a short interview, and it was really a pleasure to speak with you then. You really understood the concept and the idea of what a press conference is, which can't be said about everybody in the sport. So it was nice that you were really open and really well spoken, and just communicating very, really clearly, very important ideas to the audience. So yeah, you definitely have really great communication skills and obviously a great knowledge of the game, of the sport, and a lot of connections as well. So I guess it's a really good fit.
Yeah, I think it's very nice. And it was also nice to, like, in the Skins there were some friends of mine, I would say, Hjalte, Jakub, all the guys, but also meet other players I haven't really talked to yet, because there's still some. And then when you're hosting the Skins, like, you get to talk to everybody before the Skins, after the Skins, between the Skins. Yeah, even more connections then. So that was a very nice part of it.
Cool. And they did FPO and MPO, right?
I think we had 3 MPO cards and 1 FPO card.
Okay. So you shot four total Skins episodes there.
On 2 days. So it was Tuesday 2 Skins, Wednesday 2 Skins.
Okay.
It was also exhausting because you kind of have to talk a lot. I mean, I'm used to talking a lot, but it's like always thinking of something different to say, but you're saying kind of the same thing sometimes. It was not so easy. I thought it's a little bit easier, but I think I've done an okay job.
Yeah, I think anytime the camera comes on, it's a little bit more difficult for most people anyway. But it sure sounds like it went really well, and that's going to release, like I said, first episode next week, next Tuesday, the 17th, and then the second episode, the 30th.
On Disc Golf.
Yeah, Disc Golf Stream's YouTube channel, the English side. We've had a lot of great content coming out in the off season, so this is something also to really look forward to, and it's nice that all of our fans and viewers can keep up with all the excitement and action and in the off season, those that are interested. And so we're gonna have the skin stuff. We last I guess 10 days ago we released our first special video edition of Inside Disc Golf podcast, where I got to go check out the training camp between the Finnish and Swedish national teams. And that was a really cool experience, very fun to get that opportunity. Big thanks to Johan Sleeman and Jonas Merila for inviting us. Those are the head coaches and trainers for the Finnish and Swedish teams. So if you haven't seen that yet, make sure you go check that out. That's really...
I will check it out because I saw some stories on Instagram. It looked super nice and very interesting.
Yeah.
What they did. I think they did some strength training as well. Right?
Yeah. They had three full days of testing and training, with in the weight room, and then with a lot of these different kind of mobility type of and speed and then they had like sport specific stuff with the throws, and using this sense blend technology that they have to measure everything. So they have a ton of data for all the players. And they also had like mental coaches. They had like, lectures about the mental game and all the different aspects. It's really next level stuff for the professionalism of the game. So really, really cool and exciting that they're doing that. And it'll be really interesting to see the results. Yeah.
It's getting really professionally there in Finland. High professionalism, I would say. That's so nice to see.
Yeah.
All those young players, it's crazy.
Oh, there's some incredible talent coming up from Finland, but all over Europe. But like the way that they have it in the school curriculum, and that these type of opportunities exist to learn how to.
You have disc golf in school curriculum.
I believe so. I think they teach it to all the kids in school. Right. And like most of the schools have like a course nearby, like a beginner type of a course. And,
I've seen that.
Yeah, so it's really really growing a lot, and it's an exciting place to be for the future. It's kind of, I think, maybe the leading nation. Of course, the States, it's huge, and it's been going on a lot longer, but the level of professionalism in Finland is something special, and so I think they have a lot to teach and show for other countries, and as far as how to grow the game and how to take it to that next level of professionalism.
Yeah. Finland will be able to compete with the US at least. I mean, they're doing it right now already, so. That's
true. Yeah, I think the more experience they get, those players over there in the States, the better they're gonna do. And
look at Niklas's performance at the USDGC. That was just insane.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's so good to see.
I mean, I think for me that was like the battle of the year. I know the European Open was crazy with Macbeth and Eagle, but this was like a changing of the guard type of a moment where it was like, because Paul was on that same card as well, and I can't remember the other player, but these two young guys that haven't really won like a huge event like that yet. So the fact that they kind of just distanced themselves from the field and then had that kind of crazy battle, 17-year-old Gannenberg and I think he was 19 or 20-year-old Niklas at that. He's 20 years old at that point. So two very young players able to kind of just run away with that major, and then all those clutch putts and everything. That was incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Niklas is right there. I think he's definitely a player to watch next year. He's gained a lot of experience over there on tour, and I think.
Is he going to the States in the beginning of the year?
I think so.
I would think he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If not to Vegas, then to Texas at least, I'm sure. Starting there, so. Yeah, and then on the FPL side, the Europeans are pretty much dominating lately. It seems like, especially towards the end of the season, of course, with Kristen Tatar taking the kind of the top spot.
Kristen is so good.
Yeah, she's been on fire and so consistent and.
Yeah.
And also, I just saw that Disc Golf Pro Tour had announced that she's the most likable player in the world, like from fans, that she's like the most popular.
Kristen?
Yeah. And then Simon Lazat is second. So the Europeans are the top two.
Simon Lazat is second.
Yeah. Wow. So the top two most popular players based on like surveys from disc golfers, disc golf fans. So pretty cool that Europe is really like,
That's interesting.
Carrying its weight. And of course, Simon's a little bit like, he's semi-American now, but still quite a European player in the sense that he grew up in Germany.
He was raised in Germany.
Yeah.
We can count him.
I think we're going to claim him forever. Of course, yeah. The big news with Simon, of course, that just broke a couple days ago. There had been some rumors circulating, but now it's official. He'll be leaving Discmania, so that's kind of all the rage in the disc golf world right now. Everybody talking about it. So, I guess he's one of the most popular players and one of probably the best players of all time, best European players. He's never. I guess he's won. I think he won a major or two, but he's won some big events last year. And but yeah, quite.
He definitely won majors last year. Yes, yeah, he had a very good year, especially last year when he got a father, and really, YouTube's going well, disc golf's going well. Seems like his life is just going well, and I've talked to him sometimes last season, and he seemed like super relaxed, super comfortable, and happy with his life. It was so nice to see, and I'm very, very happy for him.
Yeah, he's a really great role model for so many so many young disc golfers and people in general. He's got a great attitude and personality, very, very calm and likable. Right? What do you think about the big move, him leaving Discmania? Was that a big surprise for you?
It was very surprising for me because Discmania for me was always Simon Lizotte and Eagle, of course, but still more Simon kind of. I don't know, maybe it's the European thinking here, but
I think he's been around longer, a little bit longer. He's a little bit older than Eagle, and 10 years with Discmania, so that's a whole decade of helping to build that brand, and I think he is quite synonymous with that brand, very iconic relationship. Maybe maybe one of the strongest in the world, I guess, where as far as the connection between the brand and the player, you kind of identify him. So it's going to be a different chapter in Simon's life, and I guess we haven't heard for sure yet where he's going, but it sounds like all the signs are pointing towards MVP. But we guess that's still rumor and speculation at this point. But it seems to be what people are saying.
Let's say he's going to MVP. I think like very, very good move from MVP. I mean, second most likely player in the world, as we just heard. I think that's always a good player to have on your team, and they're gonna make a lot of money with him.
Guaranteed to sell millions worth of discs, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is also good for Simon then. Yeah, I think sometimes it changes something good also. I'm sure he thought this all through very well, and he made the right decision for himself. That's the most important thing, I guess.
For sure. So yeah, we're wishing the best for Simon in the future, and very excited for him. Yeah. What can you tell us about I guess you've have still quite a short career, but how has the scene in Europe changed, the disc golf scene during the last few years? Or
more players. It's like I talk about Central Europe now.
Yep.
I think because there's also a scene in Central Europe like growing very fast, especially in Czech Republic.
Yep.
I want to talk about a little bit about Czech Republic there, because like when I was younger, when I was having my good years, like we always competed with the Czech guys in Central Europe, actually with Bodan, Jakub, and there is also another Jakub Knapek. They're also very good players. I think they're all above 1,000 now, but Jakub is the most known player by now, I think, with his outstanding performances this year.
Yeah, he really made a name for himself. When we were lucky to have him on the show right after the All-Stars win, and he's such a nice guy, so humble and so kind, and just
so funny.
Really just happy, positive personality. So really another great representative for the sport, another European that people can really look up to, and a great ambassador for this continent and for the sport in general, I think. And for the Czech Republic, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which like he said as well, the scene is really growing there. And
yeah, it really is.
And yeah, Konopista.
Like when I first played with Jakub, I think it was in 2017, I think it was.
Okay, going back, yeah.
Yeah, that's far back actually. That's 5 years. 5 years now, yeah. 5.5 years. Mm-hmm. That's crazy if I think about it. But I remember we played finals there, and it was in his hometown, but I think he forgot to play. I think he forgot the starting time of the finals, so he was late. So we were waiting like 20 minutes for him to get started. like, how confused is this guy? But he's actually not confused. It was just a one-time mistake. But back then at the tournaments in Europe, we waited when people were late, I would say.
Sure.
Also, a lot more professionalism at the tournaments, especially in Czech Republic. They have some great tournaments set up there. For example, the Konopista Open is always a great event and always worth visiting and playing. Very nice property, very nice course. And they put in a lot of work to make it that way. Yeah. Austria is also growing. We have Leon Sonnleitner now. I don't know.
Haven't heard.
He's 17 years old. He's rated 1,012. But he is so freaking good. Like I hope he's going to tour next year a little bit. He posted on Instagram something that is going to be big news. So go check out Leon Sonnleitner on Instagram to find out the big news, what's happening. I think he hasn't posted anything yet, so I'm also very excited for it.
Okay, that's a new name for me. So really, really great to hear that. Somebody else to check out on the European scene.
Yeah, he's gonna crush it when he's going to play the big tournaments also. Very bright future ahead for him. Then we also have the Germans, I would say. There's also Timo Hartmann. I think he's 17 years old, also 1,022 rated. Very, very good player from Germany. or he's 18 by now, I think. And there's just so many young upcoming players. The next generation is going to take it over and to a whole new level. And I think we haven't like really gone to. There is so much room for improvement still. I think, especially when you grow up with the sport, and I think that I'm sure like the physical part is going to take a much more important role now, like going into the gym, getting some strength. I mean, technique is very, very important. You have to have good technique to throw far, but if you have good technique and good physic, like where's the end? I mean, you can see it with Drew Gibson. I think he's a very strong man, good technique, and he throws so far.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That athleticism and physical strength, I think it definitely does help boost the distance, but also the like endurance. You know, that you can withstand all the throws from a season, and it doesn't seem to wear you out as much or cause any injury and stuff. I also think of Christian Kuoksa, the Finnish guy. He was at the training camp and he was incredibly strong and very fit. And of course, he throws you know, one of the farthest in the world as well. And
if not the furthest. Like,
he set an unofficial record for fastest thrown frisbee there at that camp. So he beat Simon with the speed from the speed gun anyway. So yeah, he can definitely.
I think it was 144 kilometers per hour.
Crazy.
For Simon had that. Oh. So Christian beat that then.
That's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, but it's definitely growing in Central Europe as well. And what's the? I guess when I think of Austria, I think of like a very mountainous country. Is that like all the courses are pretty mountain type golf? Or?
Yeah. A lot of elevation, a lot of up and down throwing. We always say we have like at least one hole on a course where you're in the woods and you throw like this downhill, and it's just a luck based. But you gotta have that hole like on every course once. But it's very nice. You learn how to cope with different situations you usually like actually don't have, or most of the time don't have it at bigger tournaments, like to cope with the slopes, all the rollaways, like how to throw the discs to not roll away on like if there is a slope like this or like this.
Learning how to match the angle.
A lot to learn there. Yeah. It's definitely a different kind of disc golf, but it's getting better also. Like we have a few people who are really trying to get good courses installed and have good tournaments there.
Nice.
It's very, I think, for him, the guy who organizes these tournaments, he says he wants to have his par around 1,000 rated. So he's going to make these courses like really difficult. Some Austrians are complaining that it's too hard, but for us good players, it's a very good practice, and it's just nice. It's worth to go there then.
Good to have
those short.
Yeah, to have that challenge. Yeah. And that's the level that it has to get at if you're going to have big events there. I think, you know, I mean, we're really hopeful that the European Pro Tour will be able to host an event there sometime in the next couple of years, or however long it takes to get established to that level where they can accommodate that type of a bigger tour event. Because I think that's the idea of the European Pro Tour, to really grow it everywhere in Europe and help grow the game and help spread it to different areas, different regions of the continent. So hopefully Austria will be included. I think it's very important too,
because it's a very, like, the only thing I don't like so much about the European Pro Tour, that it's like everything in Scandinavia, I would say. It's Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Estonia.
Yeah.
It's like one or two tournaments like in the Central Europe would be very interesting. I'm not quite sure if Central Europe is already that far. If disc golf already is at the level that you can do these tournaments there. And I don't know if like all the Finns or Swedish or Danish player would come and play that event then. That would be the interesting part to see. I mean, I can totally see why those tournaments are, why all the tournaments are up there.
Yeah, well,
but at some point, I think you gotta like involve whole Europe.
That's definitely the idea, and that's the long-term vision. It just, last year was the first year, and it has to start somewhere on a lot of these more kind of established venues, and trying to like, I guess, just maximize the potential of all the resources. And but yeah, it's definitely, the idea is that it will be encompassing all of Europe if possible. Different parts of Eastern, Southern, Central, Western Europe. Even into Britain and everywhere, hopefully.
Yeah.
So. I guess it's.
I mean, it makes sense. The disc golf scene still has to grow a lot there.
Yeah.
For it to really get big, but it's going fast.
Yeah, I think we're definitely moving in the right direction, and
Yeah. Otherwise, the European Pro Tour brought so much value for the European players. It's just to be able to play big tournaments in Europe, and basically, like, if you're a good player in Europe, you don't really have to go to the US anymore to make some money, or at least to get your travel costs in. Yeah. I think you can do it. A lot of players get the travel costs, if not more. And it's not. I mean, if you want to compete with the highest of with the best players in the world, you have to go to the US at some point. But if you just want to stay in Europe and get good in Europe, it's possible.
Yeah, that's one of the main goals.
Possible. Yeah. It's only possible because of you guys, because of the European Pro Tour.
Yeah, it's really.
And that's worth a lot.
Really nice to see some steps being taken that's possible. That is one of the main goals, is to allow Europeans to practice disc golf as a profession here at home in Europe, that they don't have to necessarily travel over to play in the States in order to make a living. And so we're really happy to be a part of that progression of the sport, and we're it's good to hear that the players are feeling it and happy to have those opportunities.
I definitely feel it. I mean, it's like, and you just can stay at home. You don't have to leave some of your friends, family behind. It's like, if I imagine, for example, when Simon went to the US, he kind of had to like leave Germany behind almost. I mean, sure, you can like call your friends or a video chat with them, but it's just a total change. If you have it like this, especially like in Finland, it's a very small country. I think it's very small, but definitely not as big as the US. And if you can make a living there with disc golf, don't leave your family and friends behind. That's big.
Yeah, it's such a big commitment to travel all the way across the Atlantic there, and then and then the US itself, the tour is quite spread out, and it can be quite overwhelming, I think, for a lot of people logistically, just to be able to know how to get around and to be able to afford it as well. So it's not really practical maybe for those outside the top 10 or 20 in Europe, I guess, at the moment. But
yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, but it's been very nice.
Yeah, and I think the future is really bright for the European disc golf scene. There's a lot of people working really hard behind the scenes here at the European Pro Tour and throughout the community in general in Europe. So it's
imagine it's a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of fun too, and the media is a big part of it. So we're trying to help grow the interest from the fans and help showcase the players, and their skills, and hopefully bringing in more money from sponsors from outside the sport, and just continue to show people what European disc golf is all about, with the live coverage and with the post-production, with the help from MDG Media. So definitely a really exciting year coming up for Disc Golf Stream and for the European Pro Tour and for the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour. And there's a lot of really exciting events on the Euro Tour as well. So there's plenty of stuff happening.
I know. I think Jakub, Hjalte, and all the guys I traveled with this year, I think they will spend the summer in Europe, because there is, I think, like from June to August, there are so many tournaments in Europe, like almost every week.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really kind of tightly packed this year for the summer. It's like every week, and some weekends even multiple events. So but I think that's I think it's sustainable, and it's pretty exciting. I think there'll even be quite a few Americans coming to play a lot of these events in the summer too. I think like I guess of course the big name is Paul Macbeth. He's said he's planned to be in Europe for like maybe 6 weeks or something like this. So I'm sure he'll get a chance to play some of the other events. And of course, Scott Stokely, we had him on the show recently, and if you haven't seen that episode, check that out. Really, really nice guy, and he's going to be here the whole time. He's going to be in Europe like all season. So that'll be nice. And
amazing. Where is he going to stay?
I think he's going to be all over the place. It sounds like he's going to be playing quite a few European Pro Tour events, some of the Euro Tour events, and then even visiting some of the other countries where there's not big events. It sounds like he's going to be doing some camps and checking out the scene and trying to help grow the sport within Europe, even in some of the places where it's not quite as big yet. So really, really cool to have him over here helping out with the scene and everything, and it'll be exciting to see how he performs.
No, that's amazing. That's nice. So I'm gonna meet him this year, probably.
For sure.
Never met.
Yeah, he seemed like a really nice guy, and he's been around forever in the game. So much knowledge about the culture of the sport to share. And I guess
I've heard.
We'll see how many other Americans decide to make a little bit longer trip this time, now that it seems like global travel is kind of back to sort of normal after the pandemic. And so hopefully more and more Americans will come over for the European Open and stay longer for other events. Thomas Gilbert came from Canada last year, and he played quite a few events. He was here 6 weeks, so he kind of showed that it's something that some of the players are interested to get to travel in Europe. And I think it can be really, really beneficial for those players from North America to come and experience some different culture here in Europe.
Yeah, and also for the Europeans, when the Americans come, like they can compete with them, and they make a name for themselves. Like look at Jakuba at Sula.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was like breakthrough tournament, and you don't get these chances too often. And maybe now it gets more and more, but that's definitely a big milestone in his career, and it was the entry card to doing what he does.
Yeah, that was a huge boost. I think that was like the third best battle, in my opinion, from the year, that the way him and Barsby kind of like took it to the playoff, and all the energy and all the, they were clearly getting along, but pushing each other, to the limits there. And it was a ton of fun to watch.
That's true.
Yeah. So, really exciting season coming up, and looking forward to that. Is there going to be more skins matches filmed throughout the year, or have you heard anything yet about that?
They told me they want to have one skins match before each tournament.
Cool.
So I don't know if they still plan to do it. I didn't get any further information yet, but I'm sure they will reach out when it's time. And
nice.
If there is, I'll definitely try to schedule my year like a little bit for that.
Yeah, even more exciting stuff to look forward to on Disc Golf Stream.
Yeah, that's nice. I think that they want to have skins for each tournament, like 1 or 2 skins before each tournament. That's very nice, I think, for the players and also for all the spectators at home.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. Like we said before, the format is really entertaining for the audience, and then gives the players a chance to make a little bit extra money, but also to make a little bit more name for themselves as well through the media, that hopefully it grows a big following, and people can help market themselves there on the skins as well. Yeah,
we'll see how the people like it out there, but as I said, I think it's a great format.
Yeah. Again, make sure you check that out. It'll be dropping a week from today when this episode airs, and until next Tuesday the 17th, and that'll be really, really fun.
I gotta check it out. Let's see how I can see myself talking then. Let's see if it's a little uncomfortable, but
it can definitely be a little bit strange sometimes. Just
it will be weird, but
it's a great experience to get to have it at that young age, to be in front of the camera, and to get that experience, to learn how to deal with those feelings, and to be able to communicate a little bit under pressure. And great opportunity.
Definitely a lot of learning, just expose yourself in these situations. I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah, you have a really great attitude and a really friendly style of communication. So I think, again, like I think I said, you're a great guy for the job, and yeah, really nice voice. Really, again, thanks so much for coming on the show. We'll be wrapping it up pretty soon. But is there anything else you want to talk about before we get going?
Yeah, I want to thank my friends, my family, and like all the guys I traveled with, you guys for making this possible. And yeah, I think that's it. And thanks again for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, it was really nice to talk to you, and a lot going on with the Skins and in your life. Really cool that you're studying that sports stuff. I think that'll be really a fun career. You know, something you can help
combine with English pretty good. So that's also good. I have an exam on Friday in English, so I was like, yeah, just get used to talking again.
Get you a little practice here.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, but it sounds really like you're like totally fluent. It doesn't seem like there's any moment where you really struggle to find the words, and you're just kind of like right there, you know, really good communicator. So
yeah, I think like the communication, if you talk to one another, it's okay. I mean, it could be better anyway, always, but I really have trouble with the writing and grammar.
I think
because I'm used to like talking so much, and especially when you travel together with also like non-native speakers, now you kind of get one language like, but which is not grammatically correct.
Right, but just a way that everybody understands each other.
Yeah, you don't need it, and we don't use it actually when we're traveling around. We just talk, and yeah, but I will get used to that. And
but yeah,
it's interesting. It's fun.
The writing must be a lot more difficult. I think English as a second language can be quite difficult because there's a lot of exceptions and intricacies, and a lot of words that are the same or spelled differently, but they sound the same. And I guess it can be kind of tricky to learn all the little details about English language.
Yeah, but I still think English is like one of the easiest languages to learn. If you look at some others, I think German is very difficult.
Yeah,
like with all the articles. That must be confusing. In English, you just use that. In Austria, it's der, die, das, and it's like, oh, what the fuck? It must be confusing, really.
Is there a lot of difference between Austrian German and German, or is it pretty much?
How did I say Austrian again? I mean, we speak German in Austria, actually.
Yeah.
But we have a different accent. A lot of different accents.
Just some different dialects, yeah, different accents.
Yeah, dialects, accents. But we understand the German with no problem. But I think if I would speak to German, like I used to speak to my flatmates, for example, no chance they'd understand me.
Really?
I'd really have to try to speak very correct German.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Austrians seem like they got a really great vibe, especially in the disc golf community. One of the highlights from this year for me was at the Jelenic tournament there in Poland on the border of Czech, and there was a strong...
Oh, you've been there?
Yeah, there was a lot of Austrians there, and they were so fun. You know, they had such a good time, and there was such an infectious energy that they brought to the party. You know, they were really enjoying themselves, and it really like...
Sonny was there.
Yeah, Stunny dominated. He played really well, and one of the funniest moments of the year, I think, was they were coming down on hole 18. He was going to kind of like close the deal, and he had a pretty healthy lead. And they had like a huge stereo system with them on like a Zuka cart, carrying it down, blasting some kind of Austrian like dance music or something, you know.
That sounds like
it was an amazing atmosphere there, you know, and that's a really special event too. That was a lot of fun. There was really good vibes there, and a mountain course as well. It's kind of cool to get to. I haven't played a lot of mountain golf, so
I've been there 4 years ago, I think. But I decided, last year, I decided not to go because I needed, after that tournament, I would have needed some time to recover, I think, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a
So I
ton
decided
of,
not to go and focus maybe on some performances.
yeah,
But I think I could have gone.
maybe next year. Ton of fun anyway,
Yeah,
and yeah, hopefully we'll see that as a bigger event in the future or something similar like that. And because Poland seems to have a pretty
yeah.
good scene as well, and being close to Czech there as well. So I think nice to.
I think it's growing, but they're not really like very, very good players, I think. Or maybe they're coming.
Yeah.
Oh, there is Veronica. She's a young, very talented girl. Or maybe she's more like a woman now. But I think she got second at the Junior Europeans
Oh, wow.
2008. Oh, what was it last? I think it was 2018 even. And she was 14. She was far and good. But I don't know if she still plays a lot of disc golf.
Yeah,
Maybe
definitely
she
a lot of
does,
nice players from there anyway, and
yeah. People are awesome.
yeah, great vibe, and I think that's something I hope that will, I think will grow as well. That kind of atmosphere, or that attitude that a lot of the Central and Western and Southern European players have. That it's really a lot of fun to be around those people. I know it's so serious here in Finland that sometimes maybe it can be a little bit different vibe on the card if people are really focused on the win and focused on the performing the best. And so I think even at this level here in Finland, we can still learn a little bit about enjoying the game from some of the other players in Europe as well.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it can be too much, but
there's a healthy balance somewhere in between. I think that we can all learn from each other and play together but yeah, European disc golf is something really fun and really special, and we're really happy to be involved to bring it to the audience with the live coverage and everything that we're doing. So a ton of fun, and you're a big part of it as well. So thanks for everything that you do to help grow the sport, and for being the host for the Skins, and being such a nice guy and coming on the show to talk with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been a very nice journey so far.
Yeah, best of luck in the future, and I guess that's it for this episode of Inside Disc Golf, episode 14. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Laurenz. Take care.
Thank you very much.
All the best. So,
and see you this year.
All right. Thank you, everybody. See you next time.
Inside Disc Golf, the European Disc Golf podcast. Everything about European disc golf in one podcast.